For most of modern history, the global financial system has been built on a single assumption. The dollar system works. Not perfectly, but well enough that the world continues to run on it. Since the end of World War II, the international monetary order has largely been shaped by institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. And for decades, that system revolved around one central pillar, the United States dollar. That arrangement formally began with the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944, and it lasted, more or less, until Richard Nixon closed the gold window in 1971 during the Nixon shock. That was the moment the world moved fully into fiat currency, money backed not by metal, but by confidence. For 50 years, that system expanded dramatically. Global debt exploded. Governments borrowed. Corporations borrowed. Consumers borrowed. And for a long time, it worked. But something unusual has happened over the last 15 or so years. After the 2008 global financial crisis, central banks around the world began printing money at a scale never before seen. Quantitative easing, zero interest rates, trillions of dollars created to stabilize the financial system. And then came the pandemic. The fiscal and monetary response to COVID-19 pandemic added another massive wave of debt and liquidity, which leads to a question many economists are quietly asking. Can the current system continue indefinitely, or will it eventually require a reset? Now, the word reset makes people nervous, and for good reason. Historically, financial resets involve some combination of currency devaluation, debt restructuring, inflation, and asset repricing. But here's the key point. The institutions that manage the global system appear to be preparing for structural change, not tomorrow morning, but sooner than most people realize. Central banks have been buying gold at the fastest pace in modern history. Countries including China, Russia, and India have dramatically increased sovereign gold reserves. But why? Because gold is neutral. It isn't issued by any government. It carries no counterparty risk, which makes it useful in periods of monetary transition. Meanwhile, another development is quietly accelerating. Central bank digital currencies. So-called CBDCs, dozens of countries are experimenting with them. The European Central Bank is developing a digital euro. The People's Bank of China has already piloted the digital yuan. And the Federal Reserve has researched digital dollar frameworks. Now, digital currencies aren't necessarily sinister. They could improve payment efficiency, but they would also give governments unprecedented visibility and control over money flows. Every transaction recorded, every asset traceable, which again raises the question, what wealth exists outside the system? Because when financial systems change, assets inside the system tend to move together. Stocks, bonds, bank deposits, all interconnected. But physical assets, land, commodities, and metals, those operate differently. And large institutions know this, which is why sovereign wealth funds, hedge funds, and central banks increasingly treat gold as a monetary asset, not merely a commodity. So if a monetary transition is coming, what can ordinary investors realistically do? Not in theory, but starting right now. Well, first, understand the timeline. Financial resets rarely happen overnight. They usually unfold over years. Warning signs appear first: rising sovereign debt, persistent inflation, geopolitical fragmentation, currency competition, and we are seeing all of those simultaneously. Second, reduce reliance on single financial channel. Many households keep nearly all wealth in three places. Number one, retirement accounts. Number two, brokerage portfolios. And number three, of course, bank deposits. all inside the same financial architecture. Diversification means adding assets that behave differently. Real estate, productive businesses, and yes, some physical metals. Third, think about where assets are held. Jurisdictional diversification doesn't mean hiding money. It means recognizing that laws vary by country. Historically, stable financial centers, places like Switzerland or Singapore, have long hosted private bullion vaulting systems outside the traditional banking network. Fourth, focus on ownership clarity. In modern finance, many assets are technically held in street name. That means a broker holds the asset on your behalf. Usually, this works perfectly until the system stress introduces legal complications. Direct ownership, whether metals, real estate, or private equity, reduces layers between you and the asset. And so fifth, avoid panic. This may be the most important point. Financial resets create enormous opportunity as well as risk. After every major monetary transition, from the end of the gold standard to the aftermath of the 2008 global financial crisis, new wealth is created. But it usually flows to those who prepared before the transition, not after. Because once the crisis becomes obvious, it's already too late to reposition calmly. Markets move, governments react, liquidity disappears. Preparation works best when it happens quietly and early. Which brings us back to the simple role of metals. Not speculation, not obsession, just insurance, long tail risk. Insurance against currency instability. Insurance against financial system shocks. Insurance against the possibility, however remote, that the rules change again. Because if history tells us anything, from Executive Order 6102 in the US, to the 2003 Cyprus Bank bail-in, to modern policy debates across Europe, it's that the global financial system does change more often than people expect. And when it does, the difference between panic and stability usually comes down to one thing: preparation. Quiet, rational, diversified preparation. The kind that doesn't make headlines, but when the system shifts, it can make all the difference. Join us tomorrow when we walk through step by step how to protect your assets against the dollar system breaking. Real, actionable preparation you can take today. It's not even that hard. Build that stack. iBanker you. Good day.